28 Days Later is the 2002 horror movie about Scarecrow, Moneypenny, and Doctor Who battling zombies on the finest locations that the director could pay for with money he made mowing lawns that summer. It's also famous for starting the argument over whether we're allowed to call zombies zombies if they're not technically undead and can place in a 5K, which is a classic nerd debate just slightly less annoying than the argument over whether it's okay to call Doctor Who from Doctor Who, Doctor Who. But 28 Days Later is secretly all about sex and relationships and growing up, but mainly sex. My premise seems crazy, but if you let it run you down, knock you over, and rip your innards out in the middle of the street, I promise that you'll be happy you did. After PETA accidentally releases a doom virus upon an innocent and unsuspecting humanity, as we know has been their plan all along, we meet Jim. Jim's a young, charismatic British man who loves long walks in the early morning, alternative haircuts, and his favorite word is hello.
Hello! 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 Hello!
This part of the movie is a metaphor for setting out and trying to survive on your own. We find out later that Jim was still living with his parents when he got hit by that bus. So this is the first time he's been all alone. So naturally, he makes the same mistakes everybody makes when they set out. He gorges himself on sugar and soda. And he doesn't even learn that this is a mistake until a woman shows up to teach him how to live.
You've got no fat on you, and all you've had to eat is sugar. So you're crashing.
On top of that, every single decision he makes is terrible.
Hello? No!
Because, according to this movie, the bachelor lifestyle is hopelessly flawed and inevitably fatal. So what are the other options? Let's give casual relationships a shot, says Jim and every single 20-something ever. And that's where Selena and Mark come in. They live together, but it's all about pragmatism. They get along fine, they cohabitate, but they just aren't in love. You can tell the relationship is somewhat shallow by their general lack of affection and also the scene where Selena hacks Mark into SpaghettiOs with a machete. So in case you didn't catch it, according to this movie, being single sucks and casual relationships end in murder. But Selena hasn't figured this lesson out yet because she immediately tries to fill the Mark-shaped hole in her life, otherwise known as her vagina, with Jim.
Have you got any plans, Jim? Do you want us to find a cure and save the world, or just fall in love and
Selena isn't interested with a real relationship with Jim, or any commitment or risk. She's just cool keeping him around for useful stuff like...
Hello!
Oh, no, wait. She just literally said that she wasn't interested in sex. Oh well, it gets cold at night, and we'll see how things shake out. Oh, Selena. Oh, you. Then we meet Frank and Hannah, who live in their apartment, or flat, and are yet another non-traditional family unit. This time because they were a nuclear family, but their mother figure was tragically eaten off screen, or got infected with murder aids, or like died from a scraped knee because society has fallen and nobody has any bacitracin. It's working out all right in that they're alive, but we know they're not happy because Frank points out they don't have any water, which is probably a metaphor for vaginas, and Hannah explicitly says that they need more people in their family. Ain't nobody happy. But then they hear on the radio an infomercial promising a better life if they drive east. So they all set out together and things go along pretty hunky-dory. Oh wait, no, Frank loses his shit and dies. Right, because it's not a real family yet. It's just this loose structure of people, not a nuclear family. And single parenting families are inherently weak and will inevitably fail. According to this movie, please don't take that out of context. That's not what I think. Then they meet a fourth option, a bunch of soldiers who have formed a pseudo-homosexual commune where they all f the skinny one. But this isn't working either, so they become rapists. And Jim is forced to rip his shirt off and become a real tough man by shoving his thumbs into another man's brain. So let's take stock of some different kinds of families and what 28 Days Later has to say about them. If you try to make it alone, you'll be killed by a zombie priest. If you try to enter into a casual relationship, your ex will hack you into pieces. Single-parent families are boring, and an excess of male companionship will inevitably bubble over into a sexually repressed rape explosion. The only thing that does work out, the only way anyone in this movie can find peace is a traditional nuclear family. We get a woman sewing, a daughter doing exactly what she's told, and Jim enjoying a late morning after a hard 28 days of... Wait, it's actually impossible he has a job, isn't it? Why does he get to sleep in? He's on the post-apocalyptic Little House on the Prairie. Help the women sew, Jim! The last clue, the biggest one, is in the movie structure. Once at the beginning, and once at the end of the movie, we jump forward in time exactly 28 days. Now, why 28 days? There's no reason in the plot, it's a totally arbitrary period, but that's just the frame. The story itself, from Jim waking up alone to shoving his thumbs into another man's brain, takes place over about 4 days, which is how long the bleedings lasts in period stuff. Now, the disease that makes you a zombie is called rage, and there are two primary symptoms. The first is losing your temper in the worst way. And the second is... Wait, what are you saying 28 Days Later? That the rage virus is PMS, and that the zombie horde is feminism, and that we need to stop it by quarantining England? That is a crazy thing to say. That is a crazy thing that you said 28 Days Later, not me. I didn't just make that up. I know this seems like I've gone off the rails here, but listen to me. There are reasons that we care about what happens to characters in movies. Reasons that we rejoice when our heroes succeed and mourn when they fail. Movies connect with us because the details are infused with subtle and immortal truth. And that is why when we see a topless, blood-drenched woman run screaming down an embankment only for the charmingest doctor to gun her down, a small part of our brain is screaming, yes, yes, this is just like my sex life. Hey, thanks for watching our video about 28 Days Later. If you have any speculations you want to make about the state of my psychological health and or sex life, please leave a comment up there, I think, is where we keep the comment section. I have never been to our website, I'm sorry.